Good morning, Boker Tov. Good morning on this lovely Thursday morning of Parashat Yitro, the week of the parasha that includes Aseret HaDibrot, the Ten Commandments, as they're known in English, that we'll be looking at today. It's wonderful to see you here together this morning. Good morning, Sean, and good morning, Anita and Joni. And to each of you and all of you as we join here together this morning. So to one, to all, Boker Tov, Boker O. Welcome to Boker Tov from Temple Sinai congregation of Toronto's daily opportunity to connect, to reflect, and to remember. I'm Rabbi Michael Dolgan, and it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you this morning and to celebrate Torah and to celebrate our connection to one another and our tradition. It's a beautiful morning, and so let us begin giving thanks for opening our eyes and taking in our breath and continuing for another day. Please join me in the English. We'll say the prayer for the soul in Hebrew and English today. Blessed eternal God, creator of the universe, you have fashioned our bodies with wisdom, creating within us a finely balanced network. To stand before you in prayer is itself a fragile miracle. Eternal God, we praise you as the healer of body and spirit. And let's join together. Let's let that breath in and out, because while that's a physical thing, letting in the spirit, being inspired, is spiritual. The breath is really where the body and the soul are connected. And so let's join together in these words in Hebrew and English. Elohai neshama shenatata bi torahi, ata varata, ata yetzarta, ata nefachta bi, vata meshamra b'kirbi. כל זמן שהנשמה בקרבי מודה אני לפניך. אדוני אלוהי ואלוהי אבותיי, ריבון כל המעשים, אדון כל הנשמות. ברוך אתה, אדוני, אשר בידו נפש כל חי, ורוח כל בשר איש. The soul that you have given me, O God, is a pure one. You have created and formed it, breathed it into me, and within me you sustain it. So long as my soul is within me, I will give thanks to you, eternal my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. We praise you, eternal God, in whose hand is the power of all life and the spirit of all flesh. And let's join together, celebrating our connection to Torah and our commitment to it. That moment of receiving Torah is recorded, is recounted, is shared, even though it cannot be fully stated in this week's parasha. And let us affirm our gratitude and active commitment to those moments and the way they continue to echo inside us today. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. ערב נא אדוני אלוהינו את דברי תורתך בפינו ובפי עמך בית ישראל, ונהיה אנחנו וצאצאינו וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל, כולנו יודעי שמך ולומדי תורתך לשמה. ברוך אתה אדוני, המלמד תורה על עמו ישראל. אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור. These are the obligations whose value cannot be measured. They nourish us in this world and help us to create the world to come. Kibud av va'em, to honor fathers and mothers. Ugmilut chasadim, to perform acts of love and kindness. Vashkamad bet midrash shacharit v'yarvit, to attend the house of study morning and evening. Vachnasat orchim, to welcome the stranger. Uviku cholim, to visit the sick. V'hachnasat kala, to provide for brides and grooms. Ulvayat hamet, to keep faith with the dead. V'yun tefillah, to pray with sincerity. V'hava'at shalom ben adam l'chavero, to make peace when there is strife. V'tamud Torah keneged kulam, and the study of Torah is equal to them all. Well, let us continue our prayers and continue the journey that is Torah. So we will join in Baruch She'amar in Hebrew and English and continue with Psalm 121 that challenges us, whichever direction we go today, to make sure that we are headed upward. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam. Blessed is the one who speaks that we might listen. Blessed is the one who acts that we might be witnesses. Baruch hu u'baruch shemo. Blessed is the one who decides that we might accept. Blessed is the one who has mercy that we might live. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam. Blessed is the one who removes the darkness that we might see. Blessed is the one who lives forever that we might believe. Blessed is the one who saves and delivers, that we might be redeemed. We continue Shir Ma'alot, a song of a sense of moving upward, of living this day higher than the day before. I will look only upward past the mountains, for my help comes from the one beyond. My help comes from the eternal, maker of heaven and earth. Ever alert, your guardian will never allow your foot to stumble. The guardian of Israel never rests, never sleeps. The Eternal will watch over you as a shadow cast by your right hand. You will not be overcome by the sun nor abandoned by the moon. The Eternal will guard you from all evil, watching over you. The Eternal will guard you as you set out and as you return from this very moment until the end of time. And in this eternal moment, this moment of now, and where we still are in the moment of Sinai thousands of years ago, and while we still look forward to moments of Sinai yet to come, we join together in Shema Yisrael and in chanting of the last paragraph of the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha Bechol Levavecha Uvechol Nafshecha Vechol Meodecha Ve'ayu Advarim Ha'ele Asher Anochi Metzavcha Hayom Al Levavecha V'shinantam Levanecha V'dibarta Bam V'shivtecha B'vetecha ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ויעשו להם ציצית, על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטעו אחרי לבבכם, לאחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. Well, this is not only any Thursday, this is the Thursday of Parashat Yitro, of the parasha where the people and the Holy One actually come together, and where the resulting moment is a moment that is really the central moment of Jewish life. It is not just, as it tends to be referred to, the giving of the Ten Commandments. That's a very English language and modern, larger idea. It is the giving of Torah, the meeting of God and the people that resulted in Torah. Here we see before us the words of Aseret HaDibrot, And what is powerful about it and essential about it in Jewish life, as it says, God spoke all these words, saying. It doesn't say God spoke them to Moses. It says God spoke them. And these initial words, at least, the words that you can see on the page and more, tradition tells us were heard by the entire people simultaneously. God spoke all these words, saying, I am the eternal your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me, besides me. You shall not make for yourself a sculptured image or any likeness of what is in the heavens above, or on the earth below, and the waters under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I, the eternal, am your God, am an impassioned God, visiting the guilt of the parents upon the children, upon the third and upon the fourth generation of those who reject me, but showing kindness to the thousandth generation for those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not swear falsely by the name of the eternal your God, for God will not clear one who swears falsely by that name. Remember the Shabbat, the Sabbath day, and keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Shabbat of the eternal your God. You shall do no work. You shall not do any work. You, your son or daughter, your male or female slave, or your cattle, or the stranger who is within your settlements. For in 6 days God made heaven and earth and sea, and all that is in them, and then rested on the seventh day. Therefore God blessed the Shabbat day and set it aside, made it holy. Honor your father and your mother, that you may long endure on the land the eternal your God is assigning to you. And then the thou shalt nots. You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor, you shall not you shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet, meaning be jealous of your neighbor's spouse or male or female slave or ox or donkey or anything that is your neighbor. And again, all the people witnessed the thunder and the lightning, the blare of the horn and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they fell back and stood at a distance. What is it that makes this moment and these words so special? They're not the 10 commandments. They are Aseret HaDibrot, the 10 things that were spoken, that were uttered. Because it says God spoke all these words. It is that moment where the people hear the voice of God and then say to Moses, you hear the rest. They represent 14 mitzvot according to the traditional counting of the 613 mitzvot. And so they're not the 10 commandments at all. They are a moment in time. And we learn so much from the commandment of Shabbat, where it says, you'll see in verse 8 there at the top of the screen, Zacho et Yom HaShabbat l'Kadsho. Remember the Shabbat. And when we see these words again in the book of Devarim, the book of Deuteronomy, it says, Shamor et Yom HaShabbat l'Kadsho. Observe the commandment day, guard it to keep it holy. And as it's echoed in Jewish life in Lecha Dodi, even Shamo v'Zacho b'dibo echad, that remember these two words, Shamo and Zacho, were said through one word. That divine speech is not like human speech. It's not as if God dictated these things in some kind of massive speech-to-text event, but rather that a moment took place that was profound, that was deeper than normal human interaction, which is itself deep and mystical. But God shared and spoke and was present to the people, and the people heard the divine voice. They heard that sound. Each of them heard it differently, and yet together out of that, they heard a familial, a communal, a national covenant for the people of Israel with God who had brought them out of Egypt. And these words are more than words. It is about the moment and about the people having this experience, a line that still runs through us, that reminds us that each of these words is more than that. They are our heritage. They are that connection with us. Even the chanting of these words, there are two traditional sets of trope marks, the upper and the lower, of ways to chant these words. It is only one set, really. Well, you can see in some places that there are two sets of trope marks as we get here to verse 4, because it's a reminder that the words have different feelings. The words have different sounds and rhythms to them, depending on the times in which we live and the way in which our people affirms them together. Even the beginning of these words, when we do count these words and we say, what is the first commandment? Jewish tradition says it is verse 2. Anochi Adonai Elohecha, asher hotzeticha me'eretz Mitzrayim mebeit avadim. That the people of Israel have a relationship with the eternal, our God, that it is one that expresses itself in history, in our lives, that God is not merely some transcendent idea, but the source of freedom and meaning as we left Egypt, and who rejects bondage as a human circumstance, but that humans must be free to make their mistakes and create their wonders. These words and this moment in Jewish life is just so essential to everything that comes after. I really appreciate the opportunity to share it with you today and to share it together. These words stand with us, just as others must today put on a uniform and stand for the security and the safety of the state of Israel, of the people of Israel, for all the citizens of the state of Israel. And so we join together in reciting these words of blessing for those who wear the uniform and who serve so that future generations might have a lower burden and a safer, more peaceful life. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב ואמותינו שרה רבקה לאה ורחל, הוא יברך את חיילי צבא ההגנה לישראל ושאר מגיני עמנו העומדים על משמרתם. ישמרם הקדוש ברוך הוא, ויצילם מכל צרה וצוקה ומכל נגע ומחלה, וישלח ברכה בכל מעשה ידיהם, ויקוים בהם הכתוב, וכיתתו חרבותיהם לעתים, וחניתותיהם למזמרות, לא יישאו גוי לגוי חרב, ולא ימדון עוד מלחמה, וישבו איש תחת גפנו, ותחת תאנתו, ואין מחריד ונאמר, Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless the soldiers of the IDF and all who stand on guard for us. May the Holy One guard them against all difficulty and distress, injury, and illness. May all of their actions bring blessing, fulfilling the prophet's words. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Let nation not lift up sword against nation, and may they learn war no more. May all sit under a vine or fig tree, with none to make them afraid. And together we say, Amen. Well, we turn from those who stand at a responsibility in large measure of their choosing to those on a journey not of their choosing, those facing illness or injury or isolation, those who continue to work forward to make each day better than the day before, for those who are trying to make the most of what days remain. For those who have lived a life of significance and meaning and seek to end their days with honor. For each of them, for all of them, for the names given to me and given to Temple, for the names placed in the chat in this and other services, we turn to these words of refuah. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, ואמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא ירפא את כל מכותינו. יהי רצון מלפניך, אדוני אלוהינו, להחל עמם ולרפאותם, וישלח לנו מהרה רפואה שלמה ועטרת שלום, ונאמר אמן. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless and heal all who suffer. May it be the divine will to provide healing and strength. Reveal to us the holiness of life, the wholeness of shalom, and let us say together, Amen. Well, it's very meaningful to be here together today to connect and reflect. And we also take time on this day of the giving of Torah, not Shavuot, but the day where these words come to us in their yearly cycle. We take moments and remember all those whose gift of Torah has come down to us. All those who kept Torah alive, whether they did so as Talmidei Chachamim, as students of the tradition and of earlier teachers, or whether they did it through their actions, promoting the vitality and the culture and the meaning of being Jewish. So many different ways to leave us a legacy. And so we turn to these moments of memory and we recall those who died in recent days and weeks in the period of Shloshim, the last 30 days. We extend our condolences to the families of Fran Michaels, Philip Belanger, Guy Stacy, Nita Goldberg, Mel Cohen, Evelyn Polasuk, Goldie Foreman, Linda Naiman, Robert Uden, Barb Reich. And we remember all victims of war and terror, including Master Sergeant Asa El Babad. And on Yahrzeit on this day, on the 18th of Shvat, the 5th of February, 2026, we honor the life and legacy on Yahrzeit of Joseph Applebaum, Simon Suker, Rose Mandelbaum, Larry Matlow, Morris Naster, Sidney Olean, Gertrude Racco, Sharon Rosen, Arch E. Schulman, Norman Snyder, Dorothy Sugarman. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be a blessing to us. Our griefs and our sympathies are mingled as we turn together to words sanctified by memory, words glorified by hope, joining together in Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemer Rabbah, be'alma divarach u'uteh ve'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chaye dechol bet Yisrael, b'agala u'v'zman kariv imu. Amen. Yehe Shemer Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithader v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemeh kudsha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tishbachata v'nechemata damiran belma v'mu. Amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shmaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'mu. Amen. Oseh shalom b'momav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'mu. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and bring comfort and strength to all who remember. And together we say, Amen. Well, Boker Tov, wishing everyone strength and meaning, and hoping that today can be a day of significance, a day of Torah, a day of listening